right, today we are going through the entire history of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game so far. And what I mean by that is we're gonna is Texas Chainsaw Massacre has just come out with a massive update, and I thought what a better time than any to talk about all their entire history of updates today. All right, so we start off with September of 2023 when Texas Chainsaw Massacre drops it drops on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, and it's cross-platform, and the game is new. It's a fresh experience. It's like a better version of Dead by Daylight, and it's on Game Pass. When this game dropped, it was hype, and you could have and when the game came out, it was like everybody was just trying to learn the game, unlock tools, getting bone scrap, doing a lot of different things, learning the maps. I'm pretty sure there's like 3 maps in the game, and at this point there was weather changes on the map still, so it's really cool. And at this point, when the game first came out, the meta was Leatherface, Johnny was busted. It was pretty much Leatherface and Johnny if you're a killer, or those two just dominants. And then as a victim, what because people didn't really know how to play the game, a lot of people like running Leland because Leland had the shove, and when people don't know how to play and don't really understand how to take fights with bone scrap and 1v1s or put good movement on people for backstabs or run away from people or no map knowledge, the push was really good. And Sonny, his sonar ability could let you see killers on the map. So a lot of people run Leland or Sonny, and that was kind of the meta for a little bit there. And then we get and then they started coming out with some bug fixes and some changes to how XP works. Oh yeah, and a lot of people running Cook. His locks were really good, and and a lot of killers didn't really know the map that well because everybody's new to the game. So Cook was a really good way of getting Grandpa leveled up, getting his sonar out, and that'll be good. But then, so they kept bug fixing the game, doing quick patches, and then they start. But then I forgot about this. When the game first came out, her normal attack, Sissy was really rampant in the meta when the game first came out, because Sissy could freaking when Sissy would hit you, like no abilities, no anything, just a straight normal attack, it would give you a poison effect. But they ended up nerfing that a few weeks into the game, and then and then they changed spawns on different things, and yeah, and then they freaking changed perks to make the game more balanced. And then they also started nerfing Connie. Oh, I forgot Connie with her quick little burst. Connie was also a big part of the meta. A lot of things were getting changed, and then a lot of people were mad that lobbies could start with 6 people, so they changed it back to 7. So at this point in the game, they're just bug fixing, tweaking it, but the meta is kind of still the same. Like Leatherface, you really saw a lot of Sissy. Actually, at this point, a lot of people didn't really run Johnny because they didn't think he was that useful. But at this point in the game, Leatherface, Sissy, and freaking because also at this point in the game, you couldn't start a game without Leatherface. So it was literally every single game Leatherface, and you saw a lot of Sissy, and then you saw Cook or Johnny kind of in a rotation. And then there's almost less characters at this point in the game, and you have Sonny, Leland, Connie were kind of the main 3, and then everybody else was kind of just getting rotated on. And then we have our next one. And then and then this is where players, after a few weeks of the game being out, started figuring out exploits and how you could do certain things. But then they started nerfing one exploit where Johnny's lunge would go crazy, or hitchhiker traps could go through walls. And then they started having and they started changing how how stuns work against killers, and a lot of different perks, and they're just balancing the game still. And then we get towards hold on. Then we get yeah. Then they keep bug fixing, bug fixing, bug fixing. But at this point, a lot of people are enjoying the game. There's a lot of the bugs that have been at the start are starting to get patched. And then they're starting to add a lot of new skins. Right. Yeah. And then we get, and then they're doing more bug fixing. And so the game is just getting patched. But at this point, a lot of people are saying, "Hold on now, we played this game for like 4 months, for like 4 months now. Where's the content? Where's the updates?" And then they get a big time update that changes the whole fundamentals of the game. They added a new victim. They added Danny. And Danny had the ability to tamper with stuff, and he was this new character, and he was like a DLC. And I might be misremembering some of this, but he might not have been the first guy to drop, but he was one of the first guys to drop. So, anyways, they dropped Danny, right? They dropped Danny, and hold on, give me a sec. Yeah, but they dropped Danny, and Danny was a cool, fun character to play. But in my opinion, he was he's a little weak. He was a little weak compared to some of the other characters in the game. Like all he could do is tamper, and it wasn't anything that crazy, I would say. And for that, like he wasn't too big of like in the meta per se. But looking it over, Danny was the first like victim to drop. And that was cool, but you had to spend money on it, so a lot of people didn't like that. But a lot of people did, but a lot of people bought it. But then they dropped another killer, right at the same time as Danny, and they called Nancy, and she's a killer, Nancy, and Nancy had the ability to poison, and her poison ability was really cool to a lot of people. And it was a new killer. It changed up the flow of the game. And around this point, we're a few months into playing. New killers, new victims. And then we got the Nancy's house, our first ever new map, and we get different weather varieties, and the game's looking really great, really smooth. It's a really great time. And then but to give you all the breakdown of the meta, it was a lot of Sunny because Sunny's still kind of cracked. And then but it's really just, there still wasn't too many options, but you really saw Sunny, Leland, Connie just spammed a lot, and then a lot of Danny, because Danny was new, but then you saw Leatherface, but then around this time they also made the change to where Leatherface, you didn't have to have him in your lobby for the game to start, which was nice because it could different flow, because if there's no Leatherface in your lobby, you can be a little more reckless in the basement. So you have Leatherface, but Leatherface was still obviously the meta. So Leatherface, I would say Hitchhiker was starting. I would say the meta at this point was kind of like Hitchhiker, Johnny, Leatherface, because Sissy's been nerfed a little, but people really like but people like Hitchhiker Straps. Johnny's just OP, and Leatherface has always been OP. But you also see some Nancy mixed in there because she's the new character, and then shortly after we got Nancy, we get another character in Virginia. And Virginia's a new victim, and she basically is just the victim version of Nancy. She also sprays poison, but she sprays it at the killers. And she was a fun character. She had her moment in the meta, but kind of fell out after some tweaks and stuff to her perks. But she was never really a mainstay in the meta. And then we got a massive update. Oh yeah, then we got more bug fixes. Hold on, we'll get to that. We'll get to that absolute insane update in a sec. Oh, also another thing about hold on. Then they started doing a bunch of different bug fixes, yada yada, yada yada. Yep, and they started tweaking perks. Not twerking, Jesus. Tweaking how endurance works for certain characters. And then we get to a massive update. This is probably the biggest update yet. We got the new victim, Maria. And Maria, she had her moments in the meta when she was new, but then she got tweaked and nerfed, and she kind of really hasn't been in the meta since. She's really a bad version of Sunny, where she can talk to Grandpa, but she's close to him, and she has to use her ability. And it's like Sunny's sonar, but only when the Grandpa's yelling. But the killers, all they have to do is give him blood or talk him out of it. It's like she's a bad character. But with that, we also got Hands. And Hands, he's a mainstay in the meta ever since he dropped. And to this day, he's in the meta. Hands is a 7 foot tall, 350-pound man who's a menace. And he carries electric traps, a hammer. He's big, he's fast. Pre-nerf, his perks were insane. He could auto start a freaking generator. He was absolutely crazy. And his movement wasn't great, but he was insane. And with that, we got yet another map. And the new map was... Wait, I believe we got a new map. Wait, I may be mistaken. Wait, did we get a new map? Actually, no, we didn't get a new map. Wait, no. Wait, did we? No. I don't believe... Actually, no. I take it back. We did not get a new map. The last new map was Nancy's house. My apologies. But we got Hands. And Hands was a crazy part of the meta. And we got some more bug fixes, but this point in the meta, now there's a lot more options, like a ton more options. It was Leatherface. I mean, for victims, it was Sunny, because a lot of people select Sunny. It was the main stage in the meta that you really saw was Sunny, Connie, because Connie, even though she got nerfed a little, is still cracked. And then you saw Sunny, Connie. You pretty much saw Sunny, Connie, Leland, and then you also kind of saw Danny in there. Because Danny's tampering tool could keep stuff open permanently. So a lot of like really good players started using Danny a lot. And you saw him like kind of used as a competitive player. And Danny, Connie, Leland, and Sunny were kind of the meta for a little bit. And Julie kind of fell out of the meta after like day one of the game. But yeah, the family meta was for this point in the game was Leatherface, and then Johnny, because Johnny's endurance. People at this point in the game mastered how to use his endurance and how to use his ability. So Leatherface, Johnny, and Hands. That was the meta. That was the absolute meta at the time. And this went on for a bit of a while, I would say. Then they started patching the game, and then what did I do? And then they started patching the game. They added lobby cooldown, so if you leave, you get a lobby penalty, which is very great. I mean, which is elite because it made people not just back out all the time. They started adding these skins. Oh, they started nerfing Hands because he had a freaking stamina exploit. They started changing how some of his abilities work, but he's still in the meta. And this is in June. But one thing I love about Texas is they're a bit of a smaller development team. And what that means for Texas is as a smaller development team, if there's a bug in the game, the bug's going to stay in the game for a little bit, for like a couple months. And that could be bad, but I also love it sometimes. And you might be saying, give me an example of that. Well, for a little bit, there was a bug, right? And at this point in the game, there was a bug I discovered where you could run, and I was running from a victim. I was running from a killer, and I hop in the well, to escape the chasing killer. And as I hop in the well, I get knocked down. I go to the bottom, but instead of waking up on the bottom of the well, I wake up like inside a random like bucket. I wake up inside of a random barrel, like on the surface next to the well, and I can't move, and you eventually get killed. But this happened to me and my friends multiple times. It was a very funny glitch. It's kind of stupid, but it's funny, right? And then there's another bug where this only happened to me once, but it was pretty ridiculous. Where you fell down in the well, and instead of waking up in a barrel, you wake up underneath the map. And you can walk around underneath the map, but if you try to escape underneath the map, you fall out. You fall out of the map, but then you like respawn like back in the basement somehow. It was an absolute insane glitch. And then there was another glitch around this time. Yeah, at this point in the game, there was like in July, bro. June and July had the craziest bugs. It was insane. And then there was another glitch. And this glitch was the ladder glitch where you could climb up to the top of the ladder, and if the killer kills you at the top of the ladder, you will fall down and go unconscious, but you will sit at the top of the ladder, and your body will just get stuck there. But then you're not dead, but you're not alive. You'll be at 0 HP, but you'll still be alive, just sitting on the top of the ladder. And it's like you're stuck in the middle, and they can't kill you in the middle. You're perfectly fine. But then there's another glitch where you go on the ladder, but then they hit you off somehow, and you'll be at 0 HP, unkillable, and you can run unkillable on the map. But then they eventually will catch you. But then eventually, like after being unkillable, you'll fall down and you'll die to bleed out. But for a little bit there, you can run around unkillable. And then you might say, "Is that all?" No, no. There's more. There was some There's some more glitches that you could do, but oh yeah, but then there's this other like exploit for a little bit that a lot of people did, where as you're lockpicking, it builds up like it builds up the percentage of breakage on the lock, and you have to wait for that to cool down. But people figured out if you do a third and then you back out and you go back in, it wipes your progress on the breakage, but keeps the progress on the lock minigame. They ended up patching that exploit, but it was a really fun exploit. And there might be some other things that I'm missing or forgetting about in glitches, but those are some really cool ones. Yeah. Oh, and then there was one. Yeah, there was a lot of really cool glitches. There was one glitch though that sucked, where it was like literally impossible for like a week or two to win a 1v1 as a victim. It was insane to win a bone scrap fight. It was insane. It was literally impossible. Or if it was possible, it was like you have to do the hardest thing ever, because it was literally insane. I don't know. Maybe I just got matched with cheaters. No, but I think that no, I think that was a glitch because I think I saw it in the patch notes. Yeah, it was a glitch where you couldn't win 1v1. We literally could not win, like shank. I mean, you could not win a bone scrap one on one. It was crazy. Oh, and then we get to our next update here. And this is where they added. This is where they started tweaking private matches, and this is where private matches can be launched with one person, and you could do 1v1s or practice in private matches or explore the map. You could there was some cool like versions of different maps, and it was a really great time. And then this is where we get, hold on, I think, is this the massive update? More bug fixes, more tweaks, and then what's this? I think this is it. And then they started tweaking more stuff. And this is where they added another massive change. This is where they added none other than Rush Week. Which Rush Week I'm not a fan of, but it's their new mode. It's their first ever new mode. It's all a new mode. And Rush Week is you're in a mansion. There's like six or seven like girl victims that run around try to escape the mansion and call the cops before Johnny gets in there and kills them. And it's a fun little game, but you can't play with friends, and you still can't play with friends. So you couldn't play with friends, and you still can't play with friends. So that kind of like hurt the game. And then when the mode first came out, Johnny only took 2 hits, but now he takes 3 hits. So the game kind of died a little. People went back to regular Texas, but it was still a cool update for at least a little bit. So, and they started bug fixing it and tweaking it. I think if they added to where you can play with your friends, it would pop. It would like not pop off per se, but it would come back to. But it would not die, you know. But like Texas is popping. And then this is where we get to then we get some more bug fixes, a lot of stuff. And then this is where we get to an absolute massive, massive update. Massive thing number one in this update. Well, they go around, they start tweaking bug fixes, glitches, doing a lot of stuff. Maybe tweaking perks, abilities, maybe tweaking certain characters. But this is the biggest thing they do. There's like three massive things. There's like four massive things to do. And at number four, we have they buffed Nancy to the sky. They tweaked some of her abilities. They tweaked her around. They made it faster to put down traps, faster to pick them up. Made it to where killers can't walk through them. They literally said in the patch notes, Nancy mains rise up. So Nancy's kind of seen more playing time now after that. But and then number three, right? Number three, then they added another victim to the game in Wyatt. And Wyatt's this he has throwing knives, which I think are really cool. But my only issue with Wyatt is it takes him so long to get out the knife that if you're like running away, you have to get really far away from them and put some really good movement on them before you're able to like have a chance to throw the knife on them. But it's really useful if like your friend's taking like one-on-one and you pull out the knife and then you throw it at the killer in the back and then you stun him and then you can escape, you know. But so it's like if you don't have a shank on, if you don't have a bone scrap on you, the throwing knife comes in handy. And maybe I just haven't maxed out his abilities yet, but he's a pretty fun character. I mean, I would say Sunny's my main, and we'll get to that later, but he's a pretty fun character too. What was it saying? Oh yeah. Oh, and number two, they had a new map. And this is a big time change. We haven't got a new map in like almost a year. And the new map is called this might be number one, but we'll let it ride. This new map, what was it called? I forgot what it's called. I think it's called it's a cemetery. It's like a cemetery map, and it's like you hop in caskets. There's a water escape. There's a regular escape. It's a confusing map. There's a church. There's an intricate basement. There's puddles. There's rain. There's rain all. It's a new weather. It's chickens all over the place. It's a really interesting map. I haven't learned it. I'm still learning it because it's brand new, but yeah, it's pretty fun. And then number one, the biggest change, we get another killer, Bones. And I think you're seeing a pattern here with some of the DLC killers, right? Like all the killers that they've added to the game are all good, right? But it's like when all of them are good, if you're gonna take one of them three spots and be meta, you gotta be game changing. Like when the game came out, Leatherface was crazy, Hands was game changing, and then we thought we weren't gonna get another big time killer. But we did. We did get another big time killer. And that is Bones. And Bones is the most OP killer I've seen since pretty much Leatherface. Pretty much day one Leatherface. Like pretty much like day one endurance Leatherface perk nerf Leatherface. He's literally the most OP character since like day one Leatherface. He's that crazy. And you might say, you're glazing, you know, or you're going crazy. But here's what I'm saying. Bones, he can place traps. And you might say, Hitchhiker can place traps. Bones' traps are C4 claymores. He literally can place a freaking bomb on the fuse. He can place a bomb on the valve. He can place a bomb on an unlock toolbox. He can place a bomb on a fence. He can literally do anything. He can just place it on a random part of the map, and he can put it in a bush. And the reason, actually, I don't know if he can put it in a bush, but he can put it on like a wall. And the reason I'm telling you this is it dings before it blows up, so you have a chance to get away. But if it hits you, it knocks you down, it makes you all weird and wheezy, and then it freaking damages you. But you might say, oh, you can just avoid. If you're a good player with good movement, you could avoid it. Let me give you. Here's the thing. It when it blows up, it makes noise, so it lets Bones know. Oh snap! Somebody blew up my trap. Let me go look over there, and he'll go over there. And then you might say, well, you just gotta like you run away from it. But let me give you an example of what happened to me today and how this is OP. So I was playing Texas by myself, like I was just playing with randoms, right? And I went to go do the I went to go turn off the generator to on I believe it was Nancy's house. You know the generator that lets you go up to the top of the hill and there's that back fence exit, right? I was trying while the killers were all distracted chasing my teammates. I went to go turn off the generator, literally every time I was about to turn off the generator, the C4 was there. It started beeping. I had to run away, get in a bush. It blows up, and then by the time I'm about to go over there, I see Bones running up, looking in the area, place another C4, and I can't and by the time he ran out of C4s, Bones and Hitchhiker just cornered me and found me in the bush and killed me. So it's like nothing to do. And then his endurance is insane. His perks are really good because he just dropped and they haven't nerfed him yet. His perks are insane. His endurance is insane. His swing radius is insane. His damage per hit is insane. The way he runs is terrifying. And then you might say, okay, he sounds really good, but how is he meta? Let me give the thing that makes him meta, right? Let me put you on the thing that makes him borderline level of Leatherface meta. So if you're a movement killer, you can go through like cracks in the wall and you can go through stuff and you can go through crawl spaces, right? But so Bones, he's a movement killer. He can go through cracks in the wall, he can go through crawl spaces. No killer in the whole game can go over barricades. Bones is the first killer in the whole game to be able to go over barricades. No killer in the whole game can hop in a well like after a victim or at all. Bones is the first killer to be able to hop in a well. So he can go through anything. He can chase you nonstop. He has while victim might run out of stamina, Bones will never run out of stamina. He is absolutely OP meta. And another thing, right? Another thing that people don't think about is there's this new thing that people are spamming called well hopping. And well, you might say, what is well hopping? Well, it's this thing, right, where you spawn in, and at the start of the game, in order for the killers to come down to the basement to meet Leatherface, if they want to rush you, they have to either wait for the victims to wake up Grandpa, or the killers wake up Grandpa. Both the killers waking up Grandpa or the victims waking up Grandpa. Both those two things takes time, and it gives the victims time to find an exit, find other players, and get at least some resources and some idea of what their strategy of leaving the basement is to prepare for leaving the map. But the problem is with well hopping, Bones can hop in the well. Bones can place his C4s, then he can hop in the well, and he doesn't have to guard that part of the map anymore because he put C4s there. And then you can instantly hop in the well. You have no notification that the killers woke up Grandpa because they didn't wake up Grandpa. He just hopped in the well. He bypassed a part of the game, and then he goes in, kills you, no notification, and it's crazy. Or he'll chase you. You don't know he's in the basement, and then while you're thinking, oh, there's one killer in the basement, or Leatherface is in there, there's 0 killers in the basement. Now there's 2, and then you die, and that's a problem. And I'm just gonna say that, and that's just the truth. But here's the thing, and he's absolutely insane. But yeah. But he's a fun character. He's a fun character. Tough to play against though. But tough to play against. Alright. I just learned how to outwit him like I do the other characters. Alright, anyways. Now as we end off this video, right? I would like to rank my I would like to rank the maps, rank the victims, rate the killers of playability, funness, and Texas doesn't have Texas just kind of gives you content at random, and yeah. So anyways, so it's not seasons, but so we'll just go off of this. was I saying? Oh yeah. So, oh, and then you might say, oh, what about the other modes of like the freaking gallery and the freaking private match or the freaking Johnny's house or whatever it's called? Those are all okay. The Johnny thing, you can't play with friends. It's all mid. So let's rate Texas Chainsaw. Right. Let's rate some Texas Chainsaw maps. Hold on. I need to. Hold on. This is embarrassing. I forgot all the names of the maps. Game. I haven't played them a little bit. Hold on. There's Nancy's house. There's freaking the mill. There's gas station. There's family house. There's slaughterhouse. And then there's like the cemetery map. Okay, I think that's it. All right, we're gonna rank all of the victims. I think we're gonna rank them off of playability, what it's like to go against them, and what it's like to just have them as part of the game. Okay, so there's 9 victims, right? So at number nine we're gonna have Maria, because I feel like Maria, her ability's kind of just a terrible version of Sunny's ability, and it really just needs to get buffed or reworked because she kind of sucks. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Well, because she sucks to play, she costs money, and she doesn't really add an element to the map, and she's easy to kill. She has no fun about her, and she just kind of sucks. And then at number 8, we have Julie, because Julie, she just kind of she like yeah, she can reduce her stamina, but Julie was cool when the game came out. But as she started getting nerfed and reworked and perks got changed, she started to fall off. She was meta for like the first week of the game, and then as people learned how to actually play, they realized her abilities suck, and she's just kind of mid. She's better than Maria because her abilities are actually kind of worth it. She's stealthier, and honestly, it's kind of a toss up between her and Maria. But I would say she's free. She's an OG character, and for that reason, she's number 8. And then at number 7, we have Anna. And Anna is kind of like the last two. She's mid. Her abilities aren't great. She's solid, but her ability makes her reduces incoming damage from attacks and falls, while also grants poison immunity. So she's like the last. So her overall like just everything's mid like the last one. Mid to kill, mid to play, mid to just overall part of the game. But her ability is decent, and for that reason she's at number 7. And number six, we get to Virginia, one of the DLC characters, because her stats are good. Her stats are pretty solid, and her perks are pretty solid. But her spraying of poison is pretty good. But it's like it doesn't hurt. But some of the killers can brush it off pretty easily, and just fight through it. I mean, especially if they're good, and it doesn't seem to bother them as much as it does like victims. And you have to like find like things to make and craft it in the basement. And for that reason, she's a little bit of a niche character, and for that reason, she's 6. And then number 5, and this is where it starts to get tough because they start getting quite good. At number 5, this is tough. I think at number 5 we have. This is a bit of a toss up for number 5. I think at number 5 we have. I don't know. At number 5 we have Wyatt. And I think Wyatt's really good. He's a fun new character. I just don't want the brand. He's probably he's like a top 2 character for me to play right now because he's really fun. But I don't want to like that's just because he's new and I don't want his newness to impact. Mm, I don't want his new my new like he's a fun guy to go up against. He's cool, but I think his knives. I think he needs to get a bit of a rework with his knives. But overall, his knives are pretty cool, and if you can master them and maybe find a way to perk, you know what? Yeah, actually, Wyatt's a cool character. For that reason, I'm saying Leland's 5 because Leland, he's good, and his push is good, but overall he's good, not great. And I think he's 5 for that reason because Leland's he's tough to go against. He's tough. He's good to play as, and he's a nice part of the game, OG member. But I think Wyatt's a really cool member and a cool character, and for that reason, Wyatt. Is she? You know what? You know what? Actually, no. Hold on. This is getting confusing. But number 5. Number 5, we're saying Leland, because for the reason that I stated. But you know what? And number 5 is Leland. Number 4 is Danny, because he can tamper, which is cool, but it's a little niche because you have to like study stuff and do different things with the stuff around the map. But number 3, we're gonna say Wyatt, and that might just be as cool. But really, 3, 4, and 5, you can flip. Actually, you know what? Number 5, we're gonna say is Wyatt. Then number 4, Leland. Number 3, Danny. You can kind of flip those around, and then. Actually, you know what? Hold on, I'm breaking this down for you. Connie, her ability is really good because she can pop it off, but it wastes all her stamina. You know what? Number 5 is Connie. Because Connie, her stats are mid, her perks are mid, but her ability is really elite, one of the best in the game, but it drains your stamina so much, like, it's not that worth it. And for that reason, she's really good at proficiency, but not really anything else. So for that reason, Connie's 5. Connie's 5. Okay, Connie's 5. Hold on. Wait, who am I forgetting? Hold on. Maria's 9, Julie's 8, Anna's 7, Virginia's 6, and then we have. Okay. Hey, here's how we're gonna break it down. Number 5 is Connie. Number 4 is Leland. Number 3 is probably Danny because his perks are bad. And then number 2 is Wyatt, and that might just because he's new, but I think it's really cool to play, really fun, and he honestly gets really good endurance, so I like it, and good toughness. But I think number 1 is Sunny. He gets the best perks. He has really elite stats, really best endurance in the whole game, and he has best stats, best perks, and he has the best ability because he can like you can mark because you can mark you can like use your listening to find other victims when they're in the basement. Or when they're in the bush, you can see where they are. You can tell them how to find you. You can find them, and you can more importantly find killers to see. Oh, maybe we gotta wait it out a little bit if they're camping a certain spot, or if they're like up camping like a ladder I'm about to climb. So he's the best for that reason. And then we're gonna rank the maps. Hold on, let me think. Family House, Slaughterhouse. This map's the play on. Yeah, Sunny's my favorite character in the whole game, easily. So, yeah, he's by far number 1. Wyatt's cool. A lot of the other guys are cool, but yeah. Sunny's the best. Anyways, ranking maps. I'd probably say at number 6. At number 6, I have. At number 6, I have. What's the name of it? I have Nancy's house. Because Nancy's house, they escape on it. I mean, like, I feel like the map's kind of built weird, where you have to, like, You know, you have to get off the generator, or you have to climb a ladder. There's a lot going on, and I feel like it's really easy for the killers just to camp like two spots in the just sit in the middle of the map, watch the entire thing, and it's just really easy for them to camp. And all the maps in the game are really good, but this one's 6. Like you get the mill, you have Nancy's house, you have family house. Okay, you have slaughterhouse. Okay, I think at number 5. At number 5, we're gonna have family house because I feel like family house is a cool map. It's pretty fun, but the same thing with Nancy's house. It's just kind of hard to escape because I feel like killers can just kind of sit in the middle of the house and then watch the entire map. And I don't like that because you have to do a lot of different things. But for that reason, it's at 5. And I think at 4 we have the new map, like the cemetery, because it's really cool, a lot of different new things. But I feel like it's a little too much at times, and for that reason, it's 4. And wait, hold on, what are the 3 other ones? No. Oh wait, no, I take it back. I take it back. We're gonna say gas station because gas station is kind of an all-round mid-map. We're gonna say gas station is 5. Nancy House is 6. Then we're gonna say the cemetery is 4, and that 3 is where we're gonna have. Actually, not. Yeah. I think cemetery. You gotta take us some of the puddles. For that reason, it's 4, and then we're gonna say family house because I like the road on family house. It's really cool escape. So I'm saying 3 for that, and then at number two we have. At number 2, actually. Hmm. This is a toss up. What's my favorite map? I wonder. I think at number two, we probably have to have. I love all the maps in the game, but I think at number 2, we probably have to have. Probably. Yeah, we probably have to have Slaughterhouse at number 2 because I really like Slaughterhouse, but actually no, we're gonna have at number 2. At number 2, we're gonna have Mill because the Mill I think is a really elite map, probably an S tier map, but I think Slaughterhouse is a little bit better done with the formatting of it. For that reason, Slaughterhouse number 1. Now we're gonna rank lastly before we end this video, we're gonna rank all the killers of off of how they play, how they play against, how they play against, and just overall like how they do the game. There's less killers than there are victims. So yeah, there's 8 killers. Let's see. Ooh, who's number 8? This is tough. This is really tough because they're all really good. I think at 8 we have. Wait, did I say Nancy was a copy of Virginia? I'm so sorry. I meant a copy of Sissy. Sissy is the ability of poison. Virginia also got the ability of poison. Nancy got the traps. Yeah, I think I misspoke in the beginning of the video. My bad. Okay. Anyways, even though Nancy got buffed, right? She's at number 8, and Nancy, her stats are mid, her perks are mid, her trap's good, right? Like it's a good trap, especially now that they buffed it. It's just not as good as Hitchhikers, and it's not as good as Bones, and it's not. And you might say freaking Hands, his electric trap isn't really a trap, but Hands is better than her crappy trap. Maybe not better than her trap because it got buffed, but it's a toss up. And Hands has way more damage. So for that reason, Nancy's at 8. Ooh, this is really tough. They're all really good. I think at 7 we have Sissy. And Sissy, her savagery is 10. So her damage is absolutely terrible. She can go through cracks. She has good movement, good blood harvesting, decent endurance, decent stat perks. Her poison ability is really tough to play against if it hits you. But if you got really good movement, like some players do nowadays, even if Sissy poison hits you, it just lowers your movement to mid. And most players, especially if you're Sissy, kind of like a more random player, you're gonna have mid movement too, so it's kind of balances out. And she's kind of like, she's okay. I mean, so for that reason, I think she goes 7 because her playability is like okay, and her the fear level is okay, but I don't know. And then I think at number, do we put Sissy 7? Do we put Sissy 7? You know what? The fact Sissy can poison medicine. She can poison healing bottles. So for that, you know what? Sissy goes up to 6. Nancy's gonna stay at 8 because I believe Nancy's kind of hurt her. Oh, they buff Nancy's traps. Hold on. This is tougher than I thought. I think Nancy goes at 8. Sissy goes at 6 because she can poison like medicine. If you don't realize it, it really cooks you. And I think you might say who's at 6. And that's gonna be a hot take, but he's a fallen from grace from the OG days. He's fallen from the grace. Oh yeah, by the way, the meta. Oh, we'll get to the meta right now. But anyways, Cook is at 6 because Dad can Cook change the game by feeding Grandpa. Yeah, but with a lot of these like high savagery characters like Leatherface and Hands kind of just dominating the meta, it's like you don't really, and Johnny dominating the meta, it's like you don't really need a guy like Cook who has really bad movement skills. Actually, I forgot Cook has really good traps. I take it back. We're gonna go with the original list. Nancy's at 8, Sissy's at 7. I forgot Cook has really elite traps. And then we're gonna say Hitchhiker because Hitchhiker his damage is really low, and he has good movement and has traps. And for that reason, I feel like he's a little bit better movement and damage than maybe Sissy. So for that reason, we're gonna go Hitchhiker at 5, 6 at 6, and then yeah, this stuff. But then at 5, his locks are really good. His damage is pretty high, but his movement's just so bad, and he's so slow. For that reason, he's not that fun to play. He's not that fun to play against. He doesn't really add too much. He's an OG player. He's an OG character, really fun at the beginning of the game. For that reason, I feel like there's so many good killers right now that are dominating the meta. I feel like Cook's really good, and he's borderline meta. But with all the killers in the game right now, he's gotta be. Yeah, he's gotta be 5. He's gotta be 5. Because Cook doesn't scare me as a player, and he's also not a character I want to play, per se. That's just my opinion. Now we're gonna get to the killers that I'm scared to play against. These are the killers that I'm like, whoa. If we're gonna play family, I want to play. I really would like to play as one of these killers. But if we load into a game as victims, I'm praying we get at the most one of these guys. Because I don't want any more than one. Okay, at number 4. Well, this is tough. I think at number 4 we have Hands. Because Hands, he has the highest savage rate in the game. Well, second highest in the game behind Leatherface. And his electric traps are really good. He can break barricades, and he can push you down with like one of his moves. He's a really good character actually. But my thing is, he's a really cool character. Really guys, really elite. It would be really cool to play. But I feel like the thing is he's at 4 because his movement is not good. His endurance is low. His speed's low. His swing radius isn't great, and some people call him, he's a bit of a bad version of Leatherface, and he can't even go through cracks. His movement's not great. And then number 3 we have Johnny, and Johnny, he has some moments in the meta. He's been number 2. He's been probably number 2 in the meta, I would say. Like, I would say Johnny's been number 2 in the meta behind Leatherface this entire time. And then when Hands came out, like day one, like when Hands first came out, he was probably number 2, but then they nerfed him, so Johnny came back number 2. But then after some nerfs to Johnny, Bones coming out, pre-nerf, like Bones no nerfs right now, so Johnny fall number 3. So for that reason, he's a really good character, really good speed, really great everything. And I feel like and he can stick on to you. If he hits you, he's gonna be chasing you for a while. And that reason is at 3. But he can his tracker, but so his overall ability is just kind of mid, and for that reason it's 3. And okay, number 2 we have Bones, the new killer. And I've already talked a lot in this video about how Bones is cracked. His movement's insane. His abilities are insane. His perks are insane. Overall, all of his stats are pretty decent to pair with it. And he's a scary guy, fun to play, brand new, fun to go against. I haven't played as him yet, but I've gone against him plenty of times, and he's scary. And for that reason, he's going 2. At number 1, I think it was never in doubt, is Leatherface. And Leatherface, obviously, has the highest savagery in the game. You can max whenever I play Leatherface, I max out his endurance and I max out his savagery. So he's insane. He can go crazy. If you can master like sprinting with the chainsaw without overheating it, you can get some great kills. You're unstoppable. He has, he doesn't even have the worst movement in the game. He has better move because he can't go through cracks and he's like too fat to like chase through a lot of different like doors and stuff. But like he can saw through things. I think he'd sprint with the chainsaw. So I think the worst movement in the game is probably Nancy and Cook. I would say if you that's another fun thing. We could rank off movement. If we did off of movement, right? That could be a separate video. But hold on, let's rank off of movement. So off of movement, we but wait, yeah, let me finish with Leatherface. Leatherface, he's just OP, and he spawns in the basement, kills you in the basement, chases you, makes sure you don't get out. He has a hit, and if you don't have and no cell is the best built perk in the game. But if you don't have no cell, he can hit you on the ground, get you one shot, make you fall to the ground, and then hit you again as you stand back up. So it's literally a one shot kill because it gets you 1 HP, but you take time to stand up, so he'll hit you again, and yeah, he'll be able to get another hit off, especially if he's good. So he's scary. He's the scariest, the most fun to play. He's number 1. But if you want to rank them off of movement, and if you want to rank them off of movement, 8 off of straight. Okay, today we're gonna do a ranking off of of nothing but movement for the family and killers. So at number 8 we have Cook. He's Cook based off of movement. His movement's not there. Like he can't go through anything. He can't do anything. He's slow. He's not great. Nancy, she's a little fast. She's like pretty much. I would say she probably has the same speed as Cook, but her endurance is a little better than Cook. So for that reason, and she also can't go through anything. She's at 7. And then at 6 we have Hands, because of a pure movement. Hands, his endurance is pretty low and his speed's pretty low, but he makes up for it with big savagery. But his like overall pure movement, he can't go through anything. He's kind of mid. And then off of pure movement, oh, this is tough. And number 5, I'm probably gonna say off of pure movement. Like if we're just saying pure straight up movement, I would probably honestly say probably have to say Hitchhiker. Because Hitchhiker, actually no, I'll probably say Sissy. Because she can go through cracks, crawl spaces, she's decent speed, but for pure movement, she's not as athletic as some of the other guys. And I think at number 3, we have to have Leatherface. Because he can get that sprint and go really fast, but he can't go through crawl spaces. And I feel like his sprint makes him a little better than Sissy, who doesn't have some of that endurance. But I say that with the endurance of Hitchhiker's at number 2 for movement, because he can go through crawl spaces, has really good endurance. And for the movement, he's at number 2. At number 1, we have Bones, because, yeah, he's a speedster, high endurance, can go through anything. Bones is always number 1 for movement. Alright, anyways. Oh, and let's talk about let's end this video off talking about the meta. The meta for what you're going to see right now in Texas for victims. Well, actually, yeah. No, let's go with family. For the meta 3 for family, you're going to see Leatherface, you're going to see hands, and you're going to see bones. You're going to see a combination of that, and then you're going to see Leatherface, Johnny, Bones. Or if you want to get weird with it, maybe you'll have another movement character like Leatherface, Hitchhiker, Bones, and then that's that. You'll probably see that like Hitchhiker Johnny. You'll mainly see pretty much the meta right now is Leatherface, Bones, Hitchhiker, and that's kind of like a three trio that's getting spammed with Hands and Johnny potentially being in there. But the meta for victims is Sunny. Is Sunny, Danny, Connie, and then kind of a rotation between Leland and Wyatt. So with that, I'll leave out to it. See you on the next one. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace.